Alright YouTubers, welcome back to War Thunder Ground Forces with the Angry Nerd. And today I thought we would take a look at the Mark VIII A27M Cromwell 5. Now before we get started, the skin that you see on the vehicle was created by Mr. Sir 46. And I will provide a link to his livewarthunder.com profile down in the description so that if you like this skin you can head on over and find it for yourself. Okay, the tank cruiser Mark VIII Cromwell A27 was one of the most successful series of cruiser tanks fielded by Britain in the Second World War. The Cromwell tank, named after English Civil War leader Oliver Cromwell, was the first tank put into service by Britain to combine a dual-purpose gun, high speed from the powerful, reliable Meteor engine, and reasonable armor in a balanced package. Its design formed the basis of the Comet tank. Development of the Cromwell dates back to 1940. As the Crusader tank was being readied for service, the General Staff was aware that the Crusader would become obsolete, and in late 1940 they set out a specification for a new tank to replace it. The tank was to be fitted with the QF 6-pounder gun and was expected to enter service in 1942. VIII responded with the A23, a scaled-down version of their A22 Churchill infantry tank, with 75 millimeters of frontal armor and a 12-cylinder Bedford engine carrying a crew of 5. Nuffield submitted the A24, a design heavily based on the Crusader and powered by its version of the Liberty engine, a V12 design dating from the late days of World War I and now thoroughly outdated. Nevertheless, since the design was based on the Crusader, it was thought that it could be put into production rapidly. The final entry was from Leyland. Their design was similar to Nuffield's design, but with different suspension and tracks. The designs were examined in January 1941, with Nuffield's A24 being declared the winner on January 17th. 6 prototypes of the Cromwell 1 were ordered for the spring of 1942. These arrived 4 months late, and by this time the design was already outdated. It was put into production anyway, but in service it proved entirely underpowered and only a small number were built. Delays in the A24 program led to the upgunned Crusader 3 mounting the 6-pounder gun. With the start of the war, Rolls-Royce ended their car production and set up a design team looking for other ways to use their production capacity. The team met with Leyland Motors to discuss British tank design. They decided to attempt to fit a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, the same as used in the legendary Spitfire, to a Leyland tank for testing. They removed the supercharger from a Merlin Mark III and fitted it to a Leyland-built Crusader. This tank was delivered for testing on 6 April 1941, and the test team had trouble timing its runs because it was so fast, estimating it reached speeds of 50 miles per hour. Everyone was so impressed by this display that Leyland ordered 1,000 examples of the engine as the Meteor engine. They planned to fit it to the B, R, C, and W built versions of their original A24 submission. However, in mid-1941, Leyland changed its mind, citing concerns about cooling problems. They instead suggested using a diesel engine of their own design, although this would only produce about 350 horsepower compared to the over 500 horsepower from the Rolls-Royce design. The tank board then placed an order directly with Rolls for the Meteor engine. The resulting design was ordered as the A27. Leyland then suggested that the tank be designed to fit either the Meteor or the Liberty engines. The two versions were given the General Staff numbers A27M and A27L respectively, and the names Cromwell III and Cromwell II. The first prototype of a Meteor-powered Cromwell III was delivered in January 1942, several months before the A24 that was supposed to precede it. With nearly 600 horsepower, it proved to be exceptionally mobile when tested. Orders were placed for both versions as they were concerned about the production rate of the Meteor engine. To avoid confusion, the General Staff decided to rename the original A24 Cromwell I the Cavalier, and the A27L for Liberty-equipped Cromwell II the Centaur, while the A27M for Meteor-equipped Cromwell III remained the Cromwell. The Cromwell and the Centaur were almost identical apart from the engine and associated transmission differences. The two tanks were the same, and many Centaurs were later fitted with the Meteor to make them Cromwells. The Cromwell was one of the fastest British tanks to serve in the Second World War, with a top ungoverned speed of 40 miles per hour. However, this speed proved too much for even the Christie suspension, and the engine was governed to give a top speed of 32 miles per hour, which was still fast for its time. Thanks to its excellent engine power and its Christie suspension, the Cromwell was very agile on the battlefield. The main armament was the Ordnance QF 75mm, abbreviated to OQF 75mm. It was obtained by boring out the Ordnance QF 6-pounder 57mm anti-tank gun to 75mm to give it better performance against infantry targets in a similar fashion to the 75mm M3 gun fitted to the American Sherman tank. The QF in the designation is an abbreviation for quick firing. The gun was also known as the ROQF, or Royal Ordnance Quick Firing. The QF-75 main gun fired the same ammunition as the US 75mm gun, and therefore it had around the same HE and armor-piercing capabilities as the 75mm equipped on the Sherman. The Cromwell first saw action in the Battle of Normandy in June of 1944. The tank equipped some of the armored reconnaissance regiments of the Royal Armor Corps. The Centaurs were not used in combat except for those fitted with a 95mm howitzer, which was used in support of the Royal Marines during the invasion of Normandy. Okay, so during my limited research of the Cromwell tank, I found out there's a lot of different Cromwell tanks out there, and it was a little confusing figuring out which ones were which and stuff. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown, and don't take this like I always say, don't believe anything I say. I'm a prison guard, not a historian. So I'm going to try to give you a quick rundown on the different Cromwells. Now remember that the original A24 Cromwell I was renamed the Cavalier, so it's not a Cromwell anymore. And the Cromwell II, the A27L, was renamed to the Centaur, so it's not a Cromwell anymore. The new Cromwell I was a virtual duplicate of the Centaur I, with a very early V12 Meteor engine and the 6-pounder 57mm gun. Only 357 of these were produced. The new Cromwell II was a prototype that had increased track width, and the whole machine gun was removed to increase stowage. The Cromwell III were Centaur I's that were upgraded to the early Meteor V12 engine. only 200 or so were converted. The Cromwell 4 was the first major production version. It also comprised the Centaur 1 and 3s that were upgraded with the Meteor engine. Over 1,935 units were produced, with several hull types, and the new 6-pounder rechambered as the 75mm. By far, it was the most common version of the Cromwell. The Cromwell 4W was a version upgraded with the new Meteor engine and a welded hull, the W standing for welded. The Cromwell 5W was produced from the start with a welded construction and the 75mm gun. The Cromwell 6 was a specialized close support version armed with a 95mm howitzer. The Cromwell 7, these were upgraded Cromwell 4s and 5s with additional armor, 100mm front plate armor. They also had wider 15.5-inch tracks and additional gearbox. Around 1,500 were so upgraded and produced relatively late in the war. The Cromwell 7W were Cromwell 5Ws upgraded to the Cromwell 7 standard, or built as such from the start. And the Cromwell 8 was a Cromwell 6 upgraded to the Mark 7. So, you got that? I still don't have it. But here in War Thunder, the Mark 8 A27M Cromwell 5 is a rank 2 with a battle rating of 3.0. It has a 953 horsepower engine propelling the 28-ton vehicle to a top speed of 32 miles per hour. It comes equipped with the 75mm OQF Mark 5 cannon, and with a maxed out crew, you can achieve a reload of 5 seconds. So, what do I think about the Cromwell? Well, I really like the Cromwell. I like its speed, and like I said earlier, it does have a good balance of speed and armor. The armor is not all that great, but if you angle it properly, you can bounce some shots. But it's flat, so if you are directly facing the enemy that is shooting at you, you are going to get pinned. But it's not great armor, and I get taken out a lot in the Cromwell, just straight through the front of the turret. Somebody will hit my gunner, and while my crew is switching, they get another shot off, and you're done for. But you can have those games where you can move around the side of the map or catch the enemy unaware because of the speed and forward mobility of this tank. Now, it backs up slow as anything, but I declare this thing can boogie when you're going forward, and that's what I really like about it. Decent armor, decent gun, and great forward mobility. So, that being said, why don't we hop into an actual game and see what I was able to do with the Cromwell 5. Okay, so we picked up Kuban. I guess that's how I pronounce it. Anyway, that's how I pronounce it. And it looks like we're going to be starting on the southwestern side. Let me see. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. I'm going to start from this northernmost point here. Switch these out a little bit. I still hadn't figured out which ammo does the best. I usually like to go to the middle, but you can get pinned through the turret So I'm going to come up here to the left toward A and see what develops over there. And I'm pretty fast, so I don't have to take the long way around. I should just be able to run right through this gap here and make it there. Easy peasy. Somebody's over there, but they don't have a shot on me. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, it's a Panzer. It was a Panzer. So that worked out pretty well, and I didn't really take any damage. But I could have. It could have pinned me pretty easily right through the turret. Now, one thing I do know about these British vehicles, they have good gun depression. I'm gonna make a sprint for it. Don't see anything else happening right now. I'm gonna come through this little gap right here to the right. And if there's anybody working the ridge over to my right now, I should be able to get a good shot on them. But I don't see anybody over there. Oh, got somebody right here. Hit him in the engine. Got the driver. Now let's get the gunners. There we go. Okay, I'm going to start falling back. Now, I could have backed up, but this thing backs up so slow. Sometimes it's just easy to turn around. I don't really have a shot on this vehicle. Alright, we got two friendlies over here. I'm gonna move. There's more stuff in the center to shoot at, so I'm gonna come through this little gap right here on the back side of this hill. See if I can engage those vehicles in the center. This is where the mobility of the Cromwell helps you out. It allows you to get around the map. Here we go. That didn't do much. That was better. I think that's AI. Go for the driver now. Here we go. One thing I don't like about the British vehicles is, like, they seem to keep creeping forward when you let off the gas. It's a little hard for me to aim sometimes. Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. But it counts. I take all the luck I can get. See, make a break for it. I'm trying to stay on the back side of these hills. Use them as cover. I wonder if this guy's paying attention. He was not. something else right over there. Missed it. Missed it. Hit it. Let's drop just a little bit. Missed it. It's way too far away for me to be accurate, but at least I got a hit on it. It'll register as an assist later on if he gets killed. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Run, 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 run. Go, Cromwell, go. Don't try to back up from those. Always go forward. Because you can't back up in this vehicle. I mean, you can, but it's so slow. Let's see what we got. Oh, just nicked him. Don't really have a shot. Uh-oh. And instead of backing up, turn around and go. Once they hit you, move, cause they just drop that shot a little bit. A lot of times they just clip your turret. Don't let them do it again. Let's see. There we go. No assist, I got it. I think that's the same guy I shot at before. Got here. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, we got somebody heading up the hill over here on this side. Excellent. He could have really done some damage to me if he'd have gotten a good shot off. Most of that was just machine gun though. Alright, I'm still working the backside of this hill. Don't really have a shot on that guy. Let's see. Nope, he fired at me, so I'm backing off. Give him some arty. Got a little hit with the arty, nothing big. See, something is over here. Oh, that's nice. Self-propelled gun. Let me give him another one. There we go. Got 11 rounds of this ammo left, I think. Maybe that was 13. I had 12 left. Now I got 11, I think. My eyes are bad. I'm not gonna affirm that. My eyes are wonderful eyes. Could be worse. Alright. Some red up here on this hill. Oh, that didn't pin. Come on, before he starts shooting me. There we go. Oh, nice. Got him right at the last minute. That worked out just great. Alrighty. Let's see. We picked up the first strike, the tank rescuer, professional, and shadow strike tree. I didn't get final blow. 12, 10 criticals. First place on the team. 22,200 Silver Lions. 11. Guess I didn't get credit for one. Not bad, not bad. Save it. All right. That, my friends, was the Cromwell 5. Yeah, just remember, if you're facing off with somebody, you can get pinned straight through that turret. So if you're getting ready, if you're reloading and you're waiting for a reload, just, angle it a little bit. Every little bit helps, and it might help you. Remember to angle the hull of the tank. I forget a lot, and I pay for it a lot. So it would probably be good if I actually took my own advice sometimes, but sometimes I just forget. But when I do remember it, it has helped me. So if you liked this look at the Cromwell 5, hit that like button. Subscribe if you would. I could really use the help for the channel. But as always, thanks for watching. Nerd out.